Righty, there we go. Oh my, I'm so sorry. You saw me playing with my helmets. And anyway, let's get to the show. Hello everybody, I'm Pwamps. Welcome back to the Pwamps Show. It is another big time conversation. We are ready to talk more about sports. It was a great weekend for the world of sports, whether it was college basketball, whether it was college football, whether it was the NFL. Things were happening. We start with some key injuries on the NFL side. Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people talking about his injury. He might have a little broken bone in that left wrist. That could put him out a couple weeks. It could be minor. The reports are kind of varying on how long he could be on the sideline and the severity of his injury. Another big thing, Dillon Gabriel for the Cleveland Browns. He went out of his game against the Baltimore Ravens. Shedeur Sanders came in, took over the helm for the Cleveland Browns. Was it the debut Shedeur wanted? No, but Dillon Gabriel, he's in the concussion protocol. We do not know if he will be back next week or if it will be Shedeur going for the Cleveland Browns. Now, how about college football? We got our games behind us from last week. Let's give you a quick rundown. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, C.J. Carr and Jeremiah Love, they are a phenomenal duo right now. They are taking this Notre Dame offense, this Notre Dame team to new heights. Marcus Freeman's got to be thrilled with how his boys are playing, especially as we inch closer to the college football playoff. Then we've got the Iowa Hawkeyes. They were making the trip to the Coliseum in Los Angeles to take on the USC Trojans. This was all Mr. Maeva. The Trojans, they stage a late game comeback, and USC sets up the massive game with the Oregon Ducks next week. That's one. That is the featured game next week. We'll talk about it in just a little while. Then you had Texas and Georgia. Obviously, this was the battle of heavyweights, Arch Manning and Gunnar Stockton. Oh my goodness, folks. The Georgia Bulldogs, they finally, they unleashed the beast. Every player on this team, whether it was special teams, the defensive side, the offensive side, the Bulldogs were ready to hunt. Kirby Smart, he had his visor going in full force. They were all over Arch Manning. The Georgia Bulldogs are looking good. You do not want to be playing them this time of the year. They're a scary team. Then you had the big game in Conference USA. This was for first place alone in the conference. Kennesaw State, hoot hoot, Amari Odom taking on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks in Jacksonville State. This was a big game. Obviously, first place on the line for Conference USA. Jacksonville State, the offense looked really good. They put up a lot of points on Kennesaw State. They get a big win. How about now we go to the right side of the board, Navy and USF. I tell you, I would have liked to have seen Blake Horvath playing in that Notre Dame game just a couple weeks ago. It could have made a little bit of a difference for this team. They are a different team when they've got quarterback Blake Horvath. Navy beats USF in an absolute shootout. This was a huge game because we got a logjam at the top of the American Conference. How about Cincinnati and Arizona? Well, the Bearcats, they were just hanging inside the top 25. They were trying to just claw back into the win column. They couldn't. The Arizona Wildcats, boy oh boy, they are starting to come on in the Big 12. Cincy right now is in a little bit of a mudslide. It's not looking good for the Bearcats. And right now, again, I say, it's not looking good if you are a fan of Cincinnati sports teams. Okay, the Michigan Wolverines, they were traveling to Northwestern. They got a big-time win on the road. The Wildcats have been dangerous this year, and guess what? Northwestern had multiple chances to win this game. The Michigan defense came up big, and it ends with a nice little 26-yard field goal that sends the Wolverines to getting another big win in Big Ten play. Then our last game of the night, it was the Oklahoma Sooners. John Mateer leading the Sooners into Alabama, into Tuscaloosa to take on Ty Simpson and Kalen DeBoer's Crimson Tide. This was a heavyweight matchup, folks. One that Oklahoma had to win to have any chance of staying in the college football playoff race. Guess what? They go on the road. They get the job done. Tight fashion, but Oklahoma looks good. NCAA, that was a heck of a week. The NFL, we had some great games. The Philadelphia Eagles were able to take down the Detroit Lions. We'll get to that on the info board. And guess what? College basketball, yeah, we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. What a big-time win Houston had. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's team, they continue to look great. The Purdue Boilermakers continue to look good. And guess what? We're starting to see some real players emerge. Let's talk NFL.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, Pwamps. Hey, Pwamps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Pwamps.
All right, everybody, it is time for the NFL Week 11 info board. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say one quick thing about the New York Jets. As you can tell, they're on my losing side this week. They put up a nice little fight to the New England Patriots in Foxborough, but I want to give a shout out to Chris Boyd. He was shot this weekend. He is in critical condition. We're sending prayers Chris's way. That is absolutely horrible, and we really wish the best for him and that he makes a full recovery. So prayers out to Chris Boyd of the New York Jets, a cornerback for the New York Jets. Now, we start with this info board. We got a highlight, of course, tonight is Monday Night Football. You've got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Death Star to Allegiant Stadium to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, is this the most exciting game? No. Do I think it should be flexed out of Monday night? Heavens, yes. Get it out of here. I don't need to see the Dallas Cowboys, who aren't America's team anymore, playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, who have really, really underperformed this year. So next time, NFL, let's go ahead and we can flex this game out of Monday night. I think we'd all really appreciate it. Let's take a look at your left-hand side and see who the winners were this week, but who stood out with some big-time wins. I tell you right off the bat, folks, I had a tough time picking just four for this. It really was tight for who I was going to give this fourth spot, but let's get started. Number one, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. A lot of people had them as underdogs against the Detroit Lions. The way the Lions have been playing, obviously Dan Campbell, he was back on play calling duties for the offense. A lot of people thought, man, oh man, look out, here come the Detroit Lions. We know about Jalen Hurts. We know about Saquon Barkley. But guess what? This Eagles defense is proving they are for real. They held the Detroit Lions to just 9 points, make it a 16-9 victory. Big win for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're in my number one spot. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars? 35-6. Trevor Lawrence looking dominant. 35-6 over the LA Chargers. Chargers are one of the top teams in the AFC. They're battling with the Broncos for first place in the AFC West. Obviously, the Broncos got a win this week. We'll talk about them in a second. Chargers don't. They fall a little bit. The Chargers made the life of Justin Herbert horrendous. He could not get a pass out. This was a new-looking team. And if they're going to play like this the rest of the season, look out, folks, because the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got a bright future. How about the Denver Broncos? Boy, oh boy, what a position they are in. They're atop the AFC West. Bo Nix and the Broncos get a big win over the division rival Kansas City Chiefs at Mile High, 22-19. What a big-time win for the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix and these guys looking really good. Cortland Sutton has been playing a lot better. Yes, are they missing J.K. Dobbins? Yeah, that injury where he's going to be out for the rest of the season really hurts. But the Denver Broncos make a big case that they're the best team in the AFC right now. They get a big-time win. Then we had a huge game in the NFC West. We go from AFC West to NFC West. The LA Rams, they come out on top, a massive win, 21-19 over the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions for the Seahawks, but the LA Rams, boy, are they looking good, folks. Matt Stafford is playing like he's 28 years old. Sean McVay's got to be thrilled with what he's seen from Puka Nacua. This is a team that's looking good. Then I had to talk about it. The Buffalo Bills. Could I have put them in this top row? Yes. And they are looking phenomenal. A massive win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was a shootout, but guess what? Josh Allen is playing phenomenal football right now. Baker Mayfield, these guys put up a fight, but the Bills, they get a huge win to try to keep pace with the New England Patriots, who right now, I don't know if the Patriots are going to lose a game the rest of the year. How about this? Other winners. Panthers get a big-time win in overtime over the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Bryce Young throws for over 400 yards. That's a huge accomplishment for him. It's the first time he's done it in his pro career. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they lose Aaron Rodgers. Do we know for how long? No. Mason Rudolph, though, he proved capable, but a big-time win for the Steelers because guess what? The Ravens are surging. How about the New England Patriots? Yep, they got that win on Thursday Night Football over the New York Jets. They're on the winning side. Dolphins, they win the game in Madrid against the Washington Commanders in overtime. They picked off Marcus Mariota. That set up the game-winning field goal. Houston Texans come from behind victory over the Tennessee Titans. Davis Mills now 2-0 as a starter this season for the Texans. How about the San Francisco 49ers? Brock Purdy was back. He didn't look like he lost a step. George Kittle, he's catching some touchdown passes. Niners, look out. The NFC West is stacked. 3 teams that are dominant, 1 team, the Cardinals, that are kind of in the cellar. How about the Green Bay Packers? This game was scary. The New York Giants and Jameis Winston, they had some momentum going. First drive, they go down the field, put up 7 points. You give Jameis Winston some confidence. Guess what? There was a moment where Malik Willis had to come in. He leads the Packers to a touchdown drive. It was Jordan Love. He landed on his left shoulder a little awkwardly. We didn't know if he'd return to this game. Josh Jacobs did not return to this game, by the way, for the Packers. But the Packers able to edge out a win, and it was one they really, really needed. Bears also get a win. Come from behind win over the Minnesota Vikings. That's kind of been the Bears' MO. Kicking game-winning field goals, scoring last-second touchdowns, but they get a win, big-time win, over the Vikings. Then how about the Baltimore Ravens? This was a tighter game than they would like to admit, but Lamar Jackson and the Ravens get it done against the Cleveland Browns. Now we turn to your right side. Who were the teams that stood out even with a loss? It is the Browns. The Browns' defense might just be the best in the NFL. They were able to contain Lamar Jackson and really shut this team down. Could they get a win? No. But guess what? Dylan Gabriel played pretty well in this game until that concussion injury. Shedeur Sanders, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do if he gets a couple of starts now the rest of the season. But the Browns are over here. The Chiefs, they came out on the wrong end against the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. But the Chiefs are on this losing side. This was a tight game. It could have gone either way. The Seattle Seahawks, the exact same thing, taking on the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium. Now, I do want to remind you, Seahawks and Rams are going to meet one more time this season. That will be in Seattle. That's a big, big game. Seahawks have to win that game if they want to have any chance of potentially being the number 1 seed in the NFC or winning the NFC West. You do not want to go down 2 games to the LA Rams. And then you got the New York Giants, who, like I said, even in that game against the Packers, Jameis Winston showed some real control. He showed some confidence. He made some big plays. Giants did not go quietly. They could have just laid down. They played some good football, made this game very challenging for the Green Bay Packers. Other losers this week, the Atlanta Falcons could not get the job done in their loss to the Carolina Panthers. They had multiple opportunities. We saw at the end of the game, Bijan Robinson, he's thinking, how many times can we go through this? Also, Michael Penix, we don't know how long he's going to be out. Kirk Cousins was in the game for the Falcons. A loss for the Detroit Lions. What can we say? We thought Dan Campbell's offensive play calling was going to change things. They put up 9 points against the defending Super Bowl champions. That's not going to get it done come playoff time. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they put up a great little fight in Buffalo. They're on the losing side this week. The New York Jets, a 7-point loss to the New England Patriots. That's something to be proud of. Justin Fields continues to look good ever since that Bengals game where he's kind of resurged. That's the Bengals' MO. If you're having a tough time, just play the Bengals. We'll put you on your way to becoming a Hall of Famer. Now, the LA Chargers, there's not much great to say this week about the Chargers. They got absolutely manhandled against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Duval County. Now, the Washington Commanders. Again, Marcus Mariota has proven he's a capable backup. They just could not get a big crunch time win against the Miami Dolphins in Madrid. That was our final international game of the year. Bengals, oh boy, just major problems. Don't know what we're going to see from the Bengals the next couple weeks. I really would not bring Joe Burrow back at this point. There's so many things wrong right now with this team. I don't even want to get started, but the Bengals need to play it safe, save him for next year. Okay, then you've got the Minnesota Vikings, who just could not hold on to this win against the Chicago Bears. They're on the losing side. The Arizona Cardinals, they're on the losing side. Really couldn't get things going against the San Francisco 49ers. But Jacoby Brissett, he's proven he could be a starter in this league. And then the Tennessee Titans, another game that just falls away from the Titans. They lose to the Houston Texans. That's our info board. Let's look at the schedule for next week. All right, everyone, the Week 12 schedule, let's get into it. As always, we start on Thursday night. And reminder, there are no more international games this season, so no more 9:30 starts. It's all back to the regular schedule. Let's get to Thursday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills, coming off that big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they will travel to H-Town to take on the Houston Texans. Now again, Davis Mills is 2-0. Will it be C.J. Stroud coming back from injury? Will it be Davis Mills? We don't know yet. Big game though Thursday night, Bills, Texans. 1 o'clock slate on Sunday. The New York Giants coming off that loss against the Green Bay Packers, traveling to take on the Detroit Lions. This is going to be a hungry Lions team after that loss to the defending Super Bowl champs. Giants, Lions, 1 p.m. Sunday. How about the Colts coming off their bye week? They're going to face the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a huge moment for the Chiefs. The Chiefs with a loss are 5-6. With a win, they get back into the win column. And boy, oh boy, do they need a win. But if they're going to get one, it's going to be against a tough Indiana Jones-led Indianapolis Colts. That's a featured game Sunday at 1 o'clock. How about this one? The Pittsburgh Steelers, most likely going to be without Aaron Rodgers. You're probably going to see Mason Rudolph in at quarterback. The Bears are a team right now. They're on a hot streak. Ben Johnson has Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift in this offense, playing with some real poise, some real confidence. They're playing like one of the best teams in the NFC at the moment. Huge game for the Steelers because the Ravens are on the prowl. They are lurking right behind your back, and they've got an easier schedule down the road than the Steelers do. Huge game. Steelers-Bears, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Then we got the Jets. They're playing the Ravens in Baltimore. Justin Fields, he's been playing better. Make this game watchable. Jets, Ravens in Baltimore. Baltimore showed signs of weakness in that game at the Dog Pound in Cleveland. This is a big test here. Can they continue to just keep the streak going, get back on this resurgence with Lamar Jackson back? We're going to find out Sunday at 1 o'clock. How about the Bengals and the Patriots? Well, I can't say too much good stuff about the Bengals right now. There's not enough to say. There's not anything really to say that's going well for the Cincinnati Bengals. The New England Patriots, yeah, I got loads to say. Mike Vrabel has these guys playing like the best team in the AFC. It's them or the Denver Broncos at the moment. Drake May, he's a great young quarterback who he is just fun to watch. Who's going to do it though? Will it be, when it comes down to the wire, the Broncos, the Patriots? That's the race we're keeping our eyes on for the AFC 1 seed. But it's Patriots, it's Bengals, 1 o'clock on Sunday, and it could be Joe Flacco's final start as a Bengal if the Bengals stick to the plan that Joe Burrow would be playing on Thanksgiving. Is the season too far gone? That's the question. We don't know. 1 o'clock Sunday, Bengals, Patriots. 1 o'clock on Sunday, Seattle Seahawks coming off that loss to the Rams. They're traveling to Tennessee. Hey, Titans, let's fix you. Let's fix you there. Oh, you're being stingy, whatever. Seahawks are traveling to the Titans. Titans coming off their loss. Seahawks coming off their loss. Two teams looking to get back in the win column. Sam Darnold looking to just right the ship. They got to get back in the win column. That's 1 o'clock, Seahawks, Titans. Then our final 1 o'clock game, the Minnesota Vikings coming off their bad loss where they choked it to the Bears. They're traveling to Green Bay, traveling to Lambeau Field in a nice little old-fashioned rivalry game. Jordan Love, J.J. McCarthy. 1 o'clock, Packers, Vikings on Sunday. Let's turn to your right-hand side. This is the 4 o'clock slate. The Jaguars coming off their massive win. This is going to be a really big opportunity for them to keep the momentum going as they travel to Arizona. Will it be Kyler Murray? Will it be Jacoby Brissett? We're going to have to find out. That's 4:05 on Sunday. 4:25, the Cleveland Browns and the Vegas Raiders. Raiders playing tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. Will they have another win in the win column, or will they continue to keep that losing streak going? This is going to be a team, another type toilet bowl situation. Two teams near the bottom of the AFC looking to just climb a little bit. Geno Smith, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, who are we going to see? We don't know, but it's Browns, it's Raiders, 4:25 Sunday. Falcons, Saints. Saints coming out of the bye. Falcons looking to get back in the win column. They continue to struggle here just a little bit as of late. That's 4:25 in the Bayou on Sunday. Then our last 4 o'clock game, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, trying to maybe go back-to-back here. Is this a year of back-to-back teams? There's a real opportunity, folks. They're traveling to Dallas. Cowboys are obviously playing tonight in Monday Night Football, but a big-time game at AT&T Stadium, 4:25 on Sunday. Then we've got Sunday Night Football. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, they're coming off that really heartbreaking loss to the Buffalo Bills, a game the Buccaneers thought they really could have won and they're taking on the LA Rams. The schedule doesn't get easier there. Usually you like to have a tough loss, get a game where you think, okay, we're going to go in and get a win. This is not that game. The Rams are the best team in the NFC right now, perhaps excluding the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a huge game. Sunday Night Football, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford going at it. Will we see Chris Godwin return? Will we see Bucky Irving return for the Buccaneers? Those are the injuries and the reinforcements the Buccaneers would love to have going into this game on Sunday Night Football. 8:20 Sunday night, and then we've got 8:15 on Monday night. The Carolina Panthers, who got that overtime win over the Atlanta Falcons, they're traveling to take on Brock Purdy, who, guess what, folks? The Niners are back at Levi Stadium. Panthers, Niners. That is Monday Night Football. That is the Week 12 schedule. Let's look at college football as we inch closer to the college football playoff. Let's take a look at it. All right, everybody, welcome to our college football update for the week. We've got our featured four, and we've got one other game this week. It's not a great week in the college football world, but there are some big-time games. I've got 5 on the board for you here that you've got to keep an eye on. Let's get into it. It all starts Saturday at 1 o'clock. Now, you're probably thinking Washington State and James Madison. What do we have going on there? Well, here's the situation, folks. James Madison is 9-1 this year. Now, obviously, there's a big-time race going on for that last spot in the college football playoff. You're going to get the 12 seed if you're that 5th conference champion. So, this is the situation. James Madison is currently sitting in that spot. They've got a 9-1 record. They're playing a Pac-12 team, though, in Washington State. Hey, it's the Pac-12. It's the Conference of Champions. This is an intriguing game to see how James Madison plays against that little bit higher conference team. This is Saturday at 1 o'clock. Now, we go to Saturday at 2 p.m. You've got Missouri State traveling to take on Hoot Hoots, the Kennesaw State Owls. Now, Amari Odom, he's been playing a little bit. So has Dex Williams. They're kind of splitting time right now at the quarterback position. That's been the storyline for Kennesaw State. These are 2 7-3 teams, though, in Conference USA. Obviously, Kennesaw State had that loss just last week to Jacksonville State. So the Gamecocks are sitting atop Conference USA. But you still want to be in second place to get into that Conference USA championship game. This is a huge game because these are 2 teams right in the thick of it. This game goes down Saturday at 2 o'clock. Then we get to the big boy. This game is an elimination game. 2 teams that have 1 loss. Okay? 1 loss in Big Ten play. You've got USC. Mr. Maeva leads the Trojans into Eugene to take on the mighty Oregon Ducks. Now, Oregon, again, they have really been putting up some good numbers the past couple weeks. They're in the top 10. USC, the offense, Lincoln Riley. They're looking for one of the first signature wins of the Lincoln Riley era. This would be it. But the Ducks, they are still getting some major disrespect. A lot of people think they're one of the weaker teams that are in the playoff right now. If the season ended right now, people would say the Ducks are a team that might not belong. Their schedule is kind of lacked. Obviously, they have that win over Penn State. They haven't played the competition, though, that people are really liking when they look at a college football playoff resume. So this is a major opportunity for the Ducks to do some resume building and get a big-time win over the USC Trojans at home. Then you've got the Pitt Panthers. Pitt got destroyed by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Marcus Freeman's squad came, and they looked good. Can Pitt respond by going to Georgia Tech, taking on the Yellow Jackets? And right now, this is a top 25 matchup. The Yellow Jackets are trying to stay atop the ACC. They want to be a conference champion, get into the college football playoff. They need this win. This is a big-time game. That will finish off this left side of the board. That game takes place 7:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. Let's go to our other game. It's a fun one. BYU, Bear Berkmeyer leads the Cougars into Cincinnati. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, Cincinnati fans, the town, the city of Cincinnati, they could use a big-time win. This would be a big one. You've got the number 12 team in the country based on the latest AP rankings coming into Cincinnati. This is a win the Bearcats would love to have. Now, as I say that, the Bearcats basketball team is still undefeated, and they're playing really well. The football team wants to get in on the action. They've had a little bit of a drought, but this would be a huge win if they can shut down Bear Berkmeyer and this high-powered BYU Cougar offense. Those are our 5 games to take a look at. But now, we're going to go to our next segment, and we're going to take a closer look and introduce our college football playoff info board. Let's look at it. Everybody, it is time to look at our college football info board. We are just a couple of weeks out from the college football playoff, the teams being announced. That happens December 7th. We're getting closer, folks. But for now, let's look at how the college football playoff board looks. So obviously we include the 5 highest ranked conference champions, and then we have 7 of the highest ranked at-large teams that would fill out the 12-team field of the college football playoff. Here's how we look right now. Number 1 is Ohio State. Ryan Day's got Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith in this offense, and this team playing at one of the highest levels possible. They're number 1 in the country right now. They'd be the number 1 seed in the playoff. Number 2, the Indiana Hoosiers. Kurt Cignetti's Hoosiers. Fernando Mendoza, he's having a Heisman year, and the Hoosiers have won 15 straight games at home. They're number 2 right now. Then you got number 3, the Texas A&M, the Aggies, folks. And I tell you what, if you did not see Texas A&M take on South Carolina, they were down 30-3 at home. Mike Elko gets the contract extension. People were saying best team in college football. A lot of things were going great for the Aggies, but boy, oh boy, did it get scary. But don't worry, the Aggies come back. They come back from behind. They were down 30-3 at half. They get a huge win over Lenora Sellers and the South Carolina Gamecocks. But Texas A&M still at number 3. Now the Georgia Bulldogs, they're going to move into the top 4. They had a huge win over the Texas Longhorns and Arch Manning. Georgia now leads the SEC. They move in to that first round bye row. These are the teams right now that are in that bye row, okay? They have a bye. They would not have to play in the first round of the playoff. Now, number 5, you got Texas Tech. They right now are looking like they would be the Big 12 champions, which means they would automatically qualify for the college football playoff. They're sitting at number 5. 6 is Ole Miss. Obviously, again, in the SEC, but not a conference champion. They'd be one of the at-large teams. Then you have the Oregon Ducks. They're sitting at number 7, another at-large spot. And then you've got number 8 for Marcus Freeman's Fighting Irish. They would be number 8, another at-large spot. Then we get to number 9, the Oklahoma Sooners. They jump in to the college football playoff at number 9, which I find very interesting and I like a lot after that huge win on the road, taking down the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Sooners look good. They deserve this spot. They would be in the playoff right now if the season was over. Then you got the Miami Hurricanes. They would be the ACC conference champions, which means they would automatically qualify for the college football playoff. They would be number 10. So then we've got 2 spots left. Here's what we've got. So you've got your 4 highest ranked conference champions. Okay, you've got the Big 10, the SEC, the ACC, and the Big 12. But it goes to the 5 highest ranked conference champions. That is what we've got teams chasing. And these are the mid-major schools. This is where you get a little bit of this competition. There have been a lot of people talking about we don't need to have these mid-major schools in here. Add 3 more Big 10, add 3 more SEC. You're going to get rid of the little guy. Nobody will go play at those schools if they know they don't have a chance at the college football playoff. I don't like that thinking. So here's the race. Here's the state of the race. Geez, that's a political term, but I'm going to use it here. The state of the race right now. Obviously, number 11 is open, okay? So if we wanted to, Alabama, that was a loss to Oklahoma. That was a top 15 matchup. What I could do is I could go right here and give the SEC 4 teams. I could put Alabama at number 11. Okay, we'll keep them there for now. They'll be number 11 in our hypothetical rankings. But this is what it all comes down to. This is where the playoff gets exciting, okay? Obviously, you're going to be the 12th seed when you come in as this mid-major, highest-ranked conference champion. And you're going to be playing the 5 seed, which in this case would be the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Now, here are 3 teams that we've got really vying for this spot. Now, Navy is right on the outside looking in of these 3. But here's who you have. You have the Tulane Waves. Tulane, another good team out of the American Conference. Then you've got North Texas, another team out of the American Conference that is just trying to make a push. These are some great football programs. And then you have James Madison. They're in the Sun Belt. They're in the Sun Belt. They're going to have to go through Coastal Carolina. They have a tougher schedule than Tulane and North Texas. So if I was filling out my bracket right now, and it was who does Pwamps put in this final spot of the college football playoff, well, here's how I would do it. I would be grabbing the Marine Green, and I'd be putting them in. They have firepower. This is a complete team, folks. They look good. Now, Navy's got a big test with Memphis. If Navy goes into Memphis, pulls off an upset, and Blake Horvath and the midshipmen get a big win in Memphis, that could really impress a lot of people. Maybe that changes things down here. For now, I've got North Texas as the 12th team in the college football playoff. So that's how it would look right now. Obviously, when conference championship games happen and when you've got a nice little big situation like you do with Ohio State and Indiana, if they play each other in the Big Ten championship, you also see how much do those conference championship games affect the rankings. When the committees look at them, how much do they take that weight into effect? So you look at this here. This is what we have right now. These are the 12 teams I would have in. Will it come down and look exactly like this when the season comes and goes? I don't know. But these are the 12 teams that I have right now in the playoff. That's how it looks. That is the college football playoff from Pwamps' standpoint as it stands right now. North Texas in, Tulane and James Madison right on the outside. Don't trip up now, North Texas. Don't trip up now, James Madison. Tulane, stay on your feet. Navy, stay on your feet. Folks, keep your eyes on these races. And when it comes college football playoff time, it is exciting. Let's get to college basketball. All right, everybody, college basketball time. Now, obviously, I got the schedule up on the board for you. Let's quickly run through these games. We start Monday, 10 p.m., Oregon State taking on Oregon. You got 2 undefeated teams. An old school Pac-12 rivalry, not anymore. Obviously, Oregon State still in the Pac-12, while Oregon in the Big 12. Josiah Lake averaging 14 points a game. And Nate Biddle, by the way, double-double machine. He's averaging a double-double, 17 points, 11 boards. Then we get to Tuesday night, an ESPN doubleheader, Michigan State and Kentucky, Kansas and Duke. This is a great little set of games here. All teams ranked in the top 25. Start with Michigan State. Jackson Kohler, he is a beast on the inside for MSU. He's averaging 14 points a game while averaging 10 boards a game. Then you go to Kansas, you go to Duke. Obviously the Cameron Crazies. It's a big game in the State Farm Champions Classic. And it's all about Cameron Boozer, 22 points a game, 10 boards. Carlos Boozer, the NBA star's son. He has been dominant at Duke for the Blue Devils. That game is at 9 p.m. on ESPN. It's a doubleheader on ESPN Tuesday night. Now, how about Wednesday? Well, we've got a 7 p.m. We've got a Fox Sports 1 doubleheader. We go from ESPN to Fox Sports 1, and it all starts with Arizona taking on UConn. Now, what do we like about this one? Well, you've got Ko Pete. He's a freshman. He's averaging 16 points a game for the Wildcats. That's a big-time stat for a freshman. How about Dan Hurley and his Huskies? Well, it's all about Terrace Reed Jr. He's a senior, but he's averaging 20 points a game and 9 boards. This guy is an absolute machine on the glass. You got to stay clear if you're a fan of the UConn Huskies. Now, then you've got our second game of the night Alabama, the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates team, taking on Brad Underwood's Illinois Fighting Illini. Again, you got another top 20 matchup on Fox Sports 1. A lot of great action here for Alabama. LeBaron Fillon Jr., he's averaging 19 points a game. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in college basketball. It'll be a great little guard matchup. He and Kylan Boswell. Now, Kylan Boswell, he played at Arizona, obviously transferred to Illinois. This is his second year at Illinois. And Mr. Boswell, he's averaging 18 a game. Now we get to Thursday night, and it's interesting. We got a little CBS Sports Network game starting things out with Wake Forest and Texas Tech. Wake Forest, their only loss of the year was to Michigan. This is in the Bahamas, taking on Texas Tech. Juke Harris for Wake Forest. He's a machine, 21 points a game. Then you've got Texas Tech. You can't say enough about JT Toppin. He's an absolute monster, 24 points per game. You thought what Cameron Boozer was doing was crazy. No. JT Toppin, 24 points a game, 11 boards a game. And then I threw this one in there for a little midnight madness, folks. Arizona State, the Sun Devils, they're traveling over to the island, Hawaii, to take on the Rainbow Warriors, two teams both with one loss. That game starts at midnight, and that will be a fun one. That is on ESPN+. Then we get to Friday. We got two games for you once again. Peacock starts things out. I know not everybody has Peacock, but we've got Wisconsin taking on BYU. For Wisconsin, got to keep your eyes on Nick Boyd. He's another guy who's almost averaging 20 points a game. And then BYU, they've got a barrage of weapons. Richie Saunders and A.J. Diabanza, they've been outstanding. Diabanza, he's averaging 20 points a game. This is another top 25 matchup, but it is on Peacock. I know not many of you might be able to see this game. A lot of people don't want to subscribe to Peacock and all these streaming services. I get it, but that game is on Peacock at 4 p.m. And remember, all of these games are Eastern time, folks. And then 6 p.m., finishing off Friday night, ESPNU, the Louisville Cardinals, traveling to take on the Bearcats of Cincinnati. Now, both these teams undefeated. Louisville right inside the top 15 in the country. It's all about Mikael Brown Jr., 19 points a game for him. Cincinnati, Baba Miller, another double-double guy, 15 points a game. 10 boards a game. You've got to look out for these beasts on the inside. And that's what we've got this week. A lot of guys who like to dominate on the inside. You see a lot of that go away in the NBA. These guys are here to prove that is not the case. Now again, Saturday in particular, I want to just point this note out, usually is a college basketball day. It's not while all of this college football is going on. Same goes for Sunday. The NFL is going on. There's always a couple of little college basketball games, but not so much when you've got all this football going on. Folks, that is your college basketball slate this week. Those are the games I want you to keep your eye on. I always try to get you to games that I really want you to watch and that I find really interesting. These are those games. Enjoy it. Let's keep going. All right, everybody, one last thing before we sign off. I have to talk about it because, as you all know, I'm a Bengals fan. And it's about this Jamar Chase situation. I got to tell you, I'm a Jamar Chase fan. I love watching what this guy does on the field, as I'm sure many of you do. Spitting, for some reason, has just become such a big topic in sports, it seems like this year. We all knew that baseball players spit. I mean, we see them spit out sunflower seeds. They just like to spit. It happens. But all of a sudden, it's happening in the NFL a lot. And I don't like that Jamar Chase did this. I don't. And I also don't like that it was clearly caught on camera and he blatantly lied about it with microphones and cameras in his face at his locker. I mean, does he not think people are going to see this? How many angles do all these cameras on CBS have? They don't miss a trick now. I mean, heck, you can find a guy picking his nose in the crowd. Out of 75,000 people, you're one of the best players in the league, and you don't think they're going to see you doing this to one of the best cornerbacks in the league? It makes no sense. I don't like he lied about it. I don't like that he was spitting on Jalen Ramsey. That makes no sense. I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm a Bengals fan for life. I like Jamar Chase as a player. I don't like him spitting on anybody. I don't like anybody spitting on anybody, especially on a football field or in anywhere in the sports world. I didn't like this, and I hope the NFL does something about it because that just can't happen. That cannot happen, especially you got young kids watching you at home who they probably are telling their parents, Mom, I want to be just like Jamar Chase when I grow up. You really think that a kid wants to sit there and see you spitting on somebody and then say, hey, Mom, I'm going to go spit on Billy at the playground next time I score a touchdown or I get mad or he taunts me? Come on. Not what we want to see. Hooday. That's what I'll say. If you like what you saw today on the Pwamps Show, why don't you click on subscribe, leave a little like, and please, hey, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all this sports stuff going on. Let me know what you think about the Jamar Chase spitting incident. Let me know what you think about college basketball right now. Is Houston the #1 team in the country? I know they were taken down to the wire against Auburn. What about college football? What's the college football playoff look like? Who's the best team in the NFL? You let me know. Folks, I'll keep you updated with shorts this week, but then I'll see you on Thursday for the entertainment show because it's time for Wicked, folks. Have a good one, and I will see you soon.